The city of Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina. And down a side street, I'm walking with 94-year-old Arminda Argon, a childhood friend of Pope Francis, or as he was known back then, Jorge Mario Bergoglio. She brings me to the house where he grew up and where they would play as children.
What was his personality like? What kind of boy was he?
He was truly a young man with a very strong religious and missionary vocation. He was simple and happy. I really admired him. I have beautiful memories of seeing him here. He was such an example.
It was that missionary vocation that led a young Bergoglio to the priesthood, rising up through the ranks of the Catholic hierarchy to become the powerful archbishop of this city. And as archbishop, where did he like to spend his free time? Here, amongst the city's poor. Father Lorenzo de Vedia is showing me through one of the most disadvantaged neighborhoods.
What are your memories of Bergoglio coming here? What do you remember about him moving around and meeting the people?
Bergoglio showed us another face of how the church connects with the poor. Historically, the church was far away from neighborhoods like this, especially the bishops. But Jorge Bergoglio started to come here when he was the Archbishop of Buenos Aires. This was very unusual. Archbishops never came here.
One of the locals who remembers his visits is Norma.
He
would come a lot to this parish. He would walk through the neighborhood and be walking from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. He was amazing. He would drink tea with us. He would eat whatever we offered. He was loving with us, so loving.
Back in the city centre, Bergoglio would refuse the luxurious trappings of the office. For example, he would use public transport, and this now famous photograph of the Archbishop on the city subway, with his new assistant by his side. His name was Federico Walls, and he was only 26 when this picture was taken.
Do you remember that moment?
I remember that picture being taken, yes. People wouldn't recognize him because of his low profile. Some people would take a second look and wonder, is that really the bishop? In that famous photograph, they were wooden carriages, and now they are modern. But we were riding the same line.
St. Peter's. The station was called St. Peter's?
Ironically, that line is named San Pietro, St. Peter's, where Bergoglio was destined for. And in 2013, when the news broke that Jorge Mario Bergoglio was now Pope Francis, the first ever Latin American Pope, it shocked everyone, including his nephew, Jose Ignacio Bergoglio.
How did you react when you heard the news that your uncle had become the Pope?
Empecé a ponerme nervioso, empecé como a temblar.
I started to get nervous. I started shaking because we never thought that he would become Pope. I fell on my knees in front of the TV and I just started crying because I knew Uncle Jorge wasn't ours anymore. Now he was going to be everyone's.
Ahora iba a ser Jorge de todos.